Welcome to my artist studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you gotta do is go to lutfstudio.com. I gotta go finish this painting, but I'm sure, or at least I hope, I'll see you at lutfstudio.com. Well, hello everybody. How you doing?
It's another day in paradise.
That it is. How you doing, Michael?
Oh, just over here living the dream, enjoying the weather as the snow starts to come in.
Oh yeah, you guys are about to get the snow we got. Haha.
Yes, sometime overnight tonight, the temperature's already falling.
I will be texting and bragging about us not having a snow now. You know how you did it to me? I'll be going to kick
Exactly.
you for next 2 days. Uh-huh.
It's revenge.
It's revenge time. Well, let's stay warm.
Oh
All
yeah,
this
we'll do.
global warming is destroying us, man. Like somebody's gonna do something about this global warming.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start a tire fire outside, get some smoke up there, help boost the CO2 a little bit. Maybe it'll warm up.
Yeah, I know. We have had no snow, no ice, no cold. What a joke. Okay, let's get to it. Oh boy. It is still going on, as of right now at least. Yeah, our country at the moment does not have an active Congress. How does that even work, Michael?
I don't know. I was listening to like Brandon talk about this earlier, and then other people, just as I've had podcasts on throughout the day, that like the last time this happened was during the Civil War. Over 100 years, it's been over 100 years since there's been this many votes and this many people that just can't make up their mind. You know, I, I can't decide if this is like an exercise in insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, or maybe just maybe I think Zelensky is putting pressure on McCarthy to not give up because he needs his money. He's looking to buy another house somewhere.
Yeah, he needs his millions, but yes, I know we're laughing and all, but this is becoming, it's it has passed the point of like we are officially lawless.
Yeah.
Like we're officially at the lawlessness point, which I learned from Terry Torchy on Brown House's documentary when Siege.
Hmm.
Yes, documentary Siege. But it's like I was thinking, I think it was yesterday. I'm like, okay, so here's a situation where we're kind of sort of just repeatedly doing round one, round two, round three, round 100, round 150, round 180, whatever the round is.
Yeah.
Exact same thing is looping around. McCarthy isn't willing to step down. Now, I understand President Trump has announced that he's willing to take the job if his name is put out and he gets the vote. And I'm like, I don't remember. Well, I'm not older than 100 years, so clearly I don't remember. But I can't imagine what they went through the last time this was happening. They went through 132 rounds, I think, if I'm
Something
correct.
like that. But I mean, it was literally during the Civil War. So you have like the country is divided, it's on different battle lines. I mean, I guess I kind of understand it a little more then that nobody's willing to make any concessions or negotiate. But now, I mean, at the very least, McCarthy should step aside and, let another swamp monster take his place and then let somebody else also come up against him because
But bingo though. How many people, including Alex Newman,
Mhm.
Daniel Greenfield, Robert Spencer, Brian House himself, how many people have been saying that we are at civil war? We're in civil war. Look, right now could yet be another proof that the
Oh, I agree.
division in this country and a civil war without a single bullet shot is taking place right now.
Yeah, well, I think we're definitely in a cold civil war, and I would say like there even have been like small skirmishes or engagements. Like, I mean, what else do you call these riots that went on for an entire summer during the Summer of Love, or
Oh, you
the way?
mean the mostly peaceful BLM stuff?
Yeah, yeah, the fiery but mostly peaceful protests. What I mean, what else do you call that? Or these other single incidents where, and I don't remember if this was Portland or Seattle, where they thought the one guy was conservative, so somebody just shot him in the face and then turned himself,
Portland.
or no, then was yeah Portland, and then was taken down by a SWAT team later. We've had other like small incidents like that where people have been attacked, but it isn't like widely reported. We're like, oh yeah, it's just a single crazy person, but it's pushing
Well,
people to
there's
the brink.
there's always January 6th.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
I mean,
literal political prisoners.
literal political prisoners set up, walked into a trap, which is a discussion of its own. I'm not going to get there or go there right now. But yeah, it's literally. By the way, to our lovely audience, I'm sorry, I kind of like dived right in. As always, please do share this video, and then if somebody could just let us know. I don't know if our comment section is having glitches, but I'm not getting any of the comments. If you haven't commented, that's all right. But if somebody can just put something on the comment, hopefully we'll see it. But yes, we got all the signs of civil war. Now the question remains to be answered. Who's going to save humanity from itself? I mean it.
It's a good question. I mean, I would like to see. Okay, so like I can understand McCarthy sticking around for the first two votes, seeing if maybe something breaks his direction. But I would like to see more people realizing that McCarthy doesn't have the votes, either support Byron Donaldson or maybe a stronger push for Trump or even another candidate. I understand like Jim Jordan has already said publicly like he doesn't want this role. He wants to stay uh, as a committee chair so he can ask questions and interrogate that kind of thing, and that is what he's suited for. But there are plenty of other elected representatives that I think would be a much better fit, obviously much better than McCarthy, that could step up and nominate someone or volunteer themselves and have someone nominate them.
Perfect. And thanks. I am getting the comments now. Awesome. Thank you guys. Yes. Now here's the thing. I will go back to my own question. Who's going to save humanity from itself? And I understand some people might be like saying, Jesus Christ, God. Mm-mm. I learned something absolutely amazing. Again, I'm gonna get the day confused. Either today, yesterday, or day before. I'm not doing too well. Just as an update, I am back to somewhat normal, but my brain is still a little drawing blank things. So just stay with me here. Go to wordweweekend.com and just scroll down. You'll find it. It's one of Brandon's radios, again, either today, yesterday, max day before. The title starts with like five signs God has given us about things. uh, but I learned something amazing listening to, as you know, I always tune into Brandon's radio or show. It
Mhm.
was amazing what he mentioned as the whole hour he was doing Bible study. And what I learned was nope, nope, the concept of Jesus will save humanity from itself, it's not correct. Jesus will save those of us who have surrendered to him. And then
Yeah,
another thing was, he said, you need to learn. Now, I am nowhere near properly putting this together. So I repeat, go watch the actual segment by Brennan. I'm just doing my whole, half English understanding of it. But it's the fact that in life, sometimes God lets you go to be at service of the devil or do wrong or commit sins, not because God has approved of it. No, that is not God's approval. Again, amazing episode. I strongly suggest go. As you know, I have learned a lot about my own uh, faith and Bible from Brandon. And I'm so glad he's back to doing Bible studies.
yeah,
And just since we're plugging it, every Sunday he does have a program called Worldview Weekend Hour. Starts right at 8 p.m. on Lindell TV. The entire hour is Bible study, the whole hour every Sunday. So you may want to tune into that too. But my point is, for anyone who said, geez, nope, where we're at today, Michael,
mhm,
strongly, I believe strongly, we're at a point where sadly breaks my heart to say this, but majority of us are going to perish.
I agree. I think a lot of people, well, to kind of add on to what you said, God, like God doesn't work like a genie. Like you don't pray for something and your prayers are magically answered. He's going to open doors for you, but it's up to you to take the actions. And that's where I feel like a lot of us are missing the cue right now. It's up to us to get these things done that we want to see happen. And it's also up to us to protect ourselves and safeguard ourselves against a lot of these evils that we see moving forward within our nation and around the world right now.
Exactly. And another part of it is, uh, I do apologize. I'm gonna try to catch some of our because the Facebook comments aren't coming through here, so I'm just gonna make sure we don't miss anybody's questions there. Uh,
Sure.
but another thing about it, it's like the temptation. Now, don't get me wrong. In no shape or form am I sitting here telling you I'm perfect or I'm sinless. Now, I'm a sinner just like the rest of the world. But I have realized that certain temptation has reached a point where fellow Christians give in to the temptation and then go and ask for forgiveness later. I have heard this so much, like repent and ask for forgiveness, and Lord will forgive us no matter what. And that is very accurate and very correct. However, repenting and asking for forgiveness, it's not an Advil or a Tylenol, okay?
Yeah.
You don't go get hungover, pop Advils, and you're good again. No. When you repeatedly repeat the same category of one of the seven deadly sins, or all of them together at this point, like I can
Yes.
point out some of these representatives who were elected, like we fell in love with them based on their Christianity, and now they're like literally under an umbrella on top of the seven deadly sins.
Yeah. Well, you're exactly right. I mean, a lot of times, like these are tests from God, and yes, sometimes we are going to fail and we have to ask for forgiveness. But then it's up to us to then do better the next time. That doesn't mean you won't fail on some aspects again. But if you're asking God for forgiveness, you also need to be altering your behavior to try to not make those same mistakes again. It isn't just like you said; it's not a magic washing machine. It doesn't just wipe away everything. There's an expected improvement.
Exactly. Here's a question, Michael. You might, I don't really know the answer. Hopefully, you do. Question is, isn't it negotiating favors for votes um, as akin to taking bribes? So, did that
Yes,
make sense?
yeah, and yes, it does. Yeah, yeah. So like some of this stuff where they're like the horse trading and all that that's going around right now, where McCarthy thought he had a deal the other night, and that something was going to change, but it clearly didn't because he lost more votes again. There's always going to be some of that going on, and some of that is representatives that want, say, a committee chair seat, or they want to make sure their bill is addressed. And I think we can say that's a bad thing all we want, and I do agree that we don't want backroom deals. We want things to be out in public. But honestly think too, no matter what, you're going to have that happen because it's the reality of human behavior, especially as people become friends or they work together. We're always asking each other for favors. The problem is now it's become so corrupt. And it isn't just, hey, can we get my bill up for a vote? Either way, it's I want to get X dollars to my district. Or I want this project funded or that project funded. And they're funding everything with our money. So it isn't just make horse trading and making a deal to make sure your bill gets a chance on the floor. It's all these other things. It's corruption, and it is direct bribery in a lot of cases.
Got it. Well, thanks, because I don't know the answer either. So thanks for answering that, and hopefully, our the question was answered for the audience. Uh, quickly back to where what we were saying is, now I would like to connect this because here's the thing. Very recently, it's been a while that I have, voiced my concern with previous government in Israel, current government, Netanyahu. I mean, woo. I mean,
Well,
did you see the video, Michael?
yeah, when you were on with Brandon the other day,
Yeah. Did
yeah,
I mean for those of you who have not seen it, you can just find it anywhere or go to wait a minute. Where will you report from 4th January 4th
yes,
on worldviewweekend.com. Find it. There's a segment that Brian talked about, but there is a video of Bibi Netanyahu sitting there literally flat out openly bragging proudly about how he used his people as lab rats with this vaccine and jab. And I'm like, oh, who are you and what have you done with Netanyahu?
Oh
Like
yeah.
I genuinely, as you know, very very little in politics does surprise me anymore. This one did. Like my jaw dropped. I'm like, whoa! I'm sitting here as an Iranian American thinking, oh Lord, please, Netanyahu, form your government so he can help the people of Iran. I'm like, oops. I mean,
Yeah.
what?
Well, you also covered another story with them and these drills they're doing with the U.S. right now to, I guess, how did you put it? Kind of intimidate some of the protesters in Iran, make them think it'll just turn into another war zone, like a lot of other countries in the Middle East right now, if they continue to resist the regime, the Islamic regime.
Yes, it's what in translated from Farsi to English, it's the mocked war, meaning there is no real war. It's kind of like what's happening in Ukraine and Russia. It's mocked. It's a
Yeah.
planned, or there's another name for it. I can't remember, but that's what they're doing. This whole drone thing, the between Israel and U.S. seem to be what is being used in Iran by the regime. That if you don't go home, if you don't let us get back on our feet, we won't be able to fight this war, and you are going to be killed by bombs.
Yeah.
That is the narrative, which is again, am I surprised that the Biden regime is involved with this propaganda? No. Was I surprised Netanyahu's government is? Yes. Am I today? Not anymore, because I have learned to just like accept and move on, accept and move on.
Yeah.
But with all of that being said, I do criticize the Israeli government, just like I criticize any other government. Well, I have problem with govern in general. Apparently, lately I
Yes.
have come to realize I can't do governments anymore. I don't trust anybody in any government no longer, because it seems like they are all part of deepest state and elite, one way or another. A small portion, errand boy, all the way to the CEO. Now, with that being said, however, that doesn't mean that as a Christian, as an Iranian with the last name Cyrus, as a human rights activist, I have stopped caring for the Jewish people.
Yeah.
Um, and on that note, I look around, and last year we constantly talked about it, but you look around and you're like, based on report by Jihad Watch Robert Spencer, at this point, FBI is actually openly declaring a decline on hate crime against Jews. Anti-Semitism is at its highest in America, United States of America,
Yes.
right when we are absolutely bending over backward, pleasing all the Islamic societies in America because we don't want to offend them. We have turned our back on Jewish people. Like, that's one of the things I'm like, I will bring up this Netanyahu situation and the video and the bribe, because this is the time that we should speak out for people of Israel, for the Jews. They have been abused by their government for once,
Yeah.
with this jab being pushed on them and tested on them. So we we gotta start. It's a new year. It's the whole concept of a lot going wrong with our own nation here in America. But remember, again, when my last name is Cyrus, for those of you who are not familiar with it, Cyrus, king of Persia, mentioned in Bible. I hope I pronounced the English word of it correctly. It's in Ezekiel. Is that how you said, Michael? Ezekiel?
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel. There you go. Please note, I read my Bible in Farsi, so sometimes I don't know how to say the English one. It's in there. You can read about it. That Cyrus, king of Persia, freed the Jews uh, in Babylon. So the relationship has always been there. I'm a human rights activist. As a Christian, it is our job to support and help the Jewish people. You put all of that together. I'm ranting on here because I'm a little frustrated with this scenario. But
Yeah.
I need my fellow Americans. I need my fellow Christians to speak up, stand up for our um, Jewish people here in America, in Israel,
Yeah.
anywhere. These people have been through enough. Come on.
Well, yeah, and to zoom out another level, Israel's enemies are lining up against them right now on the world stage as well. Russia's putting a lot of pressure on them again because of deals they have with Iran, and Lebanon and their other neighbors over these natural gas and energy deposits, the possibility of gold being found there. I mean, there's a lot of things lining up that line up with biblical prophecy that are not very likely to happen otherwise. I mean, it's a scary world we're in right now.
Exactly. And at this point, I know we've said it before, but it is so dire for us not to be silent anymore. It's
Yes.
not an option. Like there was a time that it was an option. It's not an option anymore. If you
Well,
choose to be quiet, if you choose to not push back, you might as well just, I mean, roll on the floor and bye bye.
yeah, by being silent, we're just paving the way for more. And I think that's a lot of the reason we got here is by not pushing back early on. The easiest example is always the LGBTQ agenda. It started with gay marriage, and I think most people, or a lot of people, were like, "Okay, yeah, just let people be happy, do what they want." But now we see where that's gone from something simple that people can understand to now where it's pushed in the schools every single day. It's transing the kids. I was watching earlier with this poor guy Jeff Younger who lives in Texas, and his wife just took their kids to California because of the law there, and she wants to, trans one of their kids. I mean, it's disgusting. And
It's
again,
more like mutilate one of the kids. That's the
yeah,
proper term.
yeah, you're exactly right. And I think by us sitting by and just letting a lot of this stuff happen and not being more vocal about it or putting our foot down and demanding things stop, that's part of why things are so far out of hand. The uniparty, the deep state, the left, whatever you want to call them, these globalists, they were able to push through so much of their agenda that now they know they can just steamroll us and get the rest of it through without there being much real reaction on our part.
Exactly. And that's the thing for I understand it's overwhelming. Trust us guys. Every morning both of us wake up and it's non-stop. We're like communicating non-stop, either on the phone, it's via a text message, whatever it is. Did you hear this? Hey, did you hear that? Hey, we should cover this. Like by the time we get on air, we have sort through at least 30, 40 different stories and reports to just decide what to cover. And to be honest, we normally try to pick things other outlets are not covering, so we can give attention to what's being kind of overlooked, if you call it. But we get that overwhelming feeling. We have it sometimes. I mean, we even lose our mind sometimes. Like, let's just pull the plug. I want to be raw. So you don't think that we just sit here and tell you to, oh, just go for it. No, we understand what it takes. We understand the pain. We understand the sorrow. Uh, our lovely friend Yosama Dakdok told me a few days ago, he called to check on me, and he made a very great point of, Annie, if you don't separate yourself from the sorrow of what's happening in your motherland and the sorrow of what's happening here in America, it will get to you. And he's very right. It will get to me. It will be exhausting. So we understand the negative, we understand the courage, we understand the bravery, we understand the sacrifices. But guys, at this point, there is no other way out. Okay, I should rephrase that. There is no other proper human and Christian way out of this scenario except making the compromises, sacrifices, be brave, support each other when one person gets tired. I mean, you've seen it a lot of time. Marco generously sits in for me because I just don't have the energy. I'm drained. He sits in for me. Sometimes we do it together.
Yeah.
Find that support team. You don't have to agree on everything as long as you agree on love of America, and you do believe that our Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ. That's all the common you need to have to
Yes.
jump in. Just find your support team, get involved. I'm sorry, I went on a long rant again, Marco.
No,
Go.
but you're right on the money. Again, bingo, bango. Because, and I think it is very overwhelming, especially in a situation like right now, where we are all. It doesn't just feel like we're being attacked on all sides. We are being attacked on all sides, and this has been relentless over the last several years. And it's also that disappointment over and over again, and these elected leaders that we thought would help us campaigned one way, then they get to Washington and they stab us in the back. So it's that disappointment over and over again. But we can't check out. We can't just tune out from the world, go about our business, and hope things will fix themselves. That clearly is not going to happen unless we stay involved. And yes, sometimes you are going to feel overwhelmed. It's going to seem like the walls are closing in on you. But that's why you also need that good support structure, friends you can count on, people you can talk to, and a good support system. Like Annie and I, again, we communicate throughout the day. We have other friends that we bounce ideas off of, and that's what keeps us motivated and keeps us going, because sometimes you do hit that wall, you feel like, well, it doesn't matter what I do now, it's not going to make any difference. but we can't check out. I would be furious with myself if I did that and then looked back at things a week later, all the missed opportunities. And
How many times have I called you like, I'm done? You're
oh
like, okay,
yeah,
I'll talk to you in an hour.
yeah,
Hour later, I'll call him like, okay, what's the next topic? You're like, welcome back.
yeah. And everybody has those moments, but you can't, even if you feel like checking out, sometimes you can't do it, because if we don't stay in here and stay in the fight, nobody's going to do it for us.
Well, here's the thing. You can check out, but you can never leave. Yes, Hotel
Yeah,
California. It is what it. I have checked out a few times, but I've never left. It's
exactly.
okay to take some time. It's okay to do something you like. As you know, I mean, I do my art. That's my getaway. I just go to my garage and my mind is just completely clear of everything because I have to concentrate on measurements and chemicals and all that. Uh, okay, I don't have a math lab. Just in case if
Yeah, yeah.
that
In
sounded
case
so
there's any
bad.
in case there's any questions, it's not that kind of studio.
Resin art, that's what I work with. But as we come to end of our part with Lindell TV audience, let's just quickly hint on this as well. Now when we say anti-Semitism, remember always on the very top of the chart of anti-Semitism is the Islamic jihad and Islamic attack. Remember, in Quran by itself, not even including Muhammad and the hadith, just Quran by itself, Jews are the cursed people. Jews are the ones Allah turned his back on, yada 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 yada. And the day of peace will not arrive until every Muslim fights every Jews, and the stones will tell them, "Hey, Muslim, there's a Jew behind me. Come kill it." All that stuff. So Islamic jihad and Islamization helps the process of growing anti-Semitism. For example, the New Year's Eve attacker has already said that I wanted to kill these Americans because US supports Israel. Now
Yes.
you have the Massachusetts Muslim who started, waving his machete, trying to kill police officers, but thankfully he was shot before he could do any damage. The same thing. Now, on this, we're going to take your attention to one of the ways you fight back is to fight back against Islamization. Do
Yes.
not buy into coexistence. Do not buy into, there are many videos of me. You can go back on liveuptofreedom.com and watch them. I have brought the verses when the Jesus they believe in is not our Lord and Savior. Don't let them manipulate you and your heart and your mind through your Christianity, because I've seen this. Hey, interfaith dialogue. Push back. Don't give in. You see any Islamic attack, be vocal about it. Don't be afraid when they say, oh, you're an Islamophobe. Let them know that unless they stand with us and fight back, we will consider all of them the enemies of Christians and Jews based on their own holy Quran and nothing else.
Bingo. Yeah, there is no such thing as Islamophobia. A key tenet of the religion is the destruction or the enslavement or conversion of everyone else on earth. So any religion like that cannot coexist with any other. It's not a religion of peace. Don't be deceived.
Exactly. The beheadings and that's it. That's the interesting part, how they are going back. One of my things was, wait a minute. So we are pushing for gun control, which is a topic of its own that we can discuss forever. But we're
Yeah,
pushing, no, we are not. The elite are pushing for gun control. But when a Muslim comes waving a machete, nobody says machetes kill people, right? It was just a lone wolf with mental health that killed people, right? Just
yeah.
want to be sure, like, the double standards are that disgusting at this point.
Oh, they are. Yeah, and it isn't about. It isn't even about preventing death. Like they really wanted to. And more people are killed by Priuses, people driving Priuses every year in the U.S. than are killed by guns. But if you bring that up, people just look at you like you're crazy.
I'm sorry, that was good. Go ahead.
It's the truth. But more people are killed by baseball bats in the U.S. every year, or blunt objects. Now, I've gone through these like DOJ statistics before, but
Hmm.
nobody's talking about banning baseball bats and cricket bats or hockey sticks or blunt
No,
objects in general or knives. It's because they want to disarm us so they can control us. Because you see how people got steamrolled in Canada or Australia or other countries where there's no means of fighting back,
Iran.
and yeah, and Iran. Yeah, think about it. They
This
actually can.
revolution would have been done and over with a month ago if they were armed.
Oh yeah, probably sooner than that if they were actually armed. Because they're over. What are they? They're probably close to 100 days now, right? Or over 100 days.
Oh, pass. Getting close to 120 days.
Yeah,
Here
I'm bad
on
with time.
January 16th will be 120th day.
Oh wow.
4 months.
So yeah, yeah. But if they had been armed, even with just simple small arms, that country would already be free, and the world would be a much better place.
Yes, we are out of time with our Lendl TV audience. You guys, as always, stay safe and stay vigilant. God bless you and God bless America. Our audience on other platforms, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a 1 minute sponsor break and be back to continue this discussion.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. Years ago, when I invented My Pillow, I was faced with every adversity you could think of. No retailers wanted to sell My Pillow. That's come full circle. Vendors took advantage of me, and I was copied by China. Well, by the grace of God, I was able to get through all that and learn from it. I have a passion to help other U.S. entrepreneurs, and that's why I created my new platform, mystore.com. We have hundreds of products from amazing entrepreneurs, and to celebrate, I'm going to put My Pillows on mystore.com right now. You can get my standard My Pillows regularly $69.98, now only $19.98 with your promo code. Or you can get my standard queen size, regular $79.98, now only $29.98. Or you can get my premium king size, regularly $89.98, now only $34.98. So go to mystore.com and use that promo code on your screen to get huge discounts on all My Store products. Thank you and God bless.